Oh, baby. Good morning.
Good morning.
Lalu, stop those monsters that beat you.
Thank you. So, guys, I said let me drop this early this morning. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my little Ghana, my little channel. I said let me drop this video to give an update on this Minister Osinachi's what happened, the unfortunate story that happened to Minister Osinachi and the way the church and the people are reacting to it. Now, apparently, the elder brother of um, Minister Osinachi's husband has come up, has spoken up after her death, after her demise. He has come up to talk about so many revealing things about Minister Osinachi's husband. He is making us to understand that Minister Osinachi's husband, though being his brother, has not been around for the past 2 years, 7 years, sorry. He has not been able to talk with him for the past 7 years. He has not visited his family, even during Minister Osinachi's father's burial. He did not show up as a typical Nigerian man. He was not there to pay his last respect or to do the contributions that he's supposed to do as a husband to Minister Osinachi, right? And also there are a lot of things, how he disregards the family. He doesn't want to have anything to do with the family. And he also revealed that his real name is not even Nwachukwu. That is not his real name. So he changed his name. He did not want to be seen, or he changed his name. He also gave revealing information on him as he has always been that brutal type. He also made mention of the fact that he got married. That means this thing that he got married earlier on, that the son went and discovered the pictures of the former wife. It's true. The older brother also made mention of this. The sister has come out to talk a lot of things. How even before Osinachi died, 2 days before Osinachi died, she went to visit him, to visit her at the hospital, but the husband blatantly made every effort for her not to see Osinachi. Maybe on her dying bed, if she had met the sister, maybe she would have said some things. But the husband blatantly made everything possible for her not to be able to see the sister. May her soul rest in peace. There are so many questions on this Minister Osinachi's death. There are so many dots to be put on ice and many T's to be cut. But why I'm here is because the church is being, should I say accused? Or should I say people want to make it to seem like the church had to play a very important role or a very vital role to her death and all of that. And the worst part is I'm still coming to say I don't worship at Pastor Paul Enenche's church, but I have this to say about Pastor Paul Enenche. Pastor Paul Enenche, before, after, or after the demise of Minister Osinachi, many people were like saying, why is Pastor Enenche not coming up to address the situation? Why is the body of Christ not coming up to address the situation? And right after that, he quietly was doing his research, he came up and gave an update on what he knows about the death of Minister Osinachi. Now, what he came to say about Osinachi will surprise most of you. He said 2 months before he went, because he was present, he went to Cameroon for a concert. 2 months before he went to Cameroon, he met Minister Osinachi. Minister Osinachi had some heart issue and all of that. He named and cited some of the names and some of the high doctors, qualified doctors in his church, that through him, he sent late Minister Osinachi and the husband to these hospitals to check. And after the first, second, third check, they came back with the result that the situation in her heart is ameliorating. But the first time she went there, the situation was really critical. But by the time they came back, the situation, it was reported that the situation was under control and she was healing well. He traveled. He says he has always prayed for the children. He has always blessed the children every after service. He has always asked the children how are they doing. The children always run to him, but none of the children ever told him anything. Even some great ministers of God always came to him, but the people that are revealing that they know what was happening now, most of those people never came to him to try to tell him what was actually happening. Now, I want to say this. Many of these men of God, some that are serving their God and some that are doing yama yama things, many of them don't actually know what is happening in the church in details, because they have an institution, they have people that control or run things around. You cannot just come in and you're just apportioning blames on the pastor. He knew. And what I'm coming to address this morning is his message, the last message that he came and gave when he was talking about Minister Osinachi's death. People have taken that message and turned it around. I am not supporting Pastor Paul Enenche. I'm not supporting him. I'm not in his ministry. Before people come saying I am supporting his ministry, or maybe because I'm a follower of his ministry. No, we are getting this thing all wrong. He talked about how you can be in a church and you will not know what is happening in the church. He talked about Jesus and his disciples, how that all Jesus had disciples, and within the disciples there were bad seeds. And even it's one of Jesus's disciples that sold him. That people might be in the church, there might be so many people in the church, but you will not know which one is the bad seed or which one is not the bad seed. Because people were saying that he should be ashamed of even having Minister Osinachi's husband as an elder or a leader in his church. So he was giving this example of Jesus Christ and his disciples, that Jesus Christ had so many disciples, and these disciples came from different backgrounds, and these disciples had different characteristics, and how he was constantly in contact with Minister Osinachi. But people have taken this message and they have turned it into Pastor Paul Osinachi. No, Pastor Paul Enenche has come out to reveal that hypocrisy is real. And I see some bloggers or some posts, some blogs bringing up excerpts from what the wife said, that you should not leave your marriages. You should try to, divorce is not an option. You should think about your children. When divorce happens, you should try to make up your marriage and you should not consider divorce as an option. People are using it that now they are preaching hypocrisy. What do you expect this woman of God to say? This woman of God should come and use the platform, to use the church to say, okay, or to use the pulpit to say, everybody go out there. If your husband does this to you, just divorce. Is that what we are waiting for the church of God to say? No, the church of God cannot be saying that. A pastor cannot come and stand and say, oh, divorce, divorce, divorce. No, that is not what the church is preaching. The church is preaching oneness. But at the same time, they are preaching against violence. If there is violence in your marriage, you should leave. She was not Dr. Mrs. Becky, that is the Pastor Paul Enenche's wife, was not saying that, was not advocating that people should not have a divorce even if when their lives are at risk. Us bloggers, we are turning the story around. Us bloggers, we are turning the narratives around. What was Pastor Paul Enenche's message? Was it that um or Pastor Becky and Nature's message, was it that even if you're at the point of death, you should stay in your marriage? No. JK, I don't have light. JK, but even though I don't have light, at least you can see me blurring and you can even listen to what I'm saying. Yes, Pastor Becky was just saying that divorce is not good in a Christian home. We should not be the ones that are running for divorce, because sometimes there's some people who don't divorce even for nothing. She was not advocating that even if you're going through violence, or if even your husband is violent, or there is a violence in the marriage, you should not leave. No, that was not what she was advocating for. She was saying that as a Christian woman, you should try, as a Christian woman, you should try to hold your marriage together for the sake of your family, for the sake of your children. But she did not mention if there is any way that she said, if there is violence there, you should stay there. Please, guys, bloggers, on all of you that are perpetrating this thing, bring it out. Bring it out. Because a lot of posts, a lot of blogs are just coming out now to say, the church is propagating, or the church is pushing forward for divorce, 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 and telling people not to have divorce. Sorry, the church is telling people not to have divorce. That Pastor Paul Enenche and the wife are hypocrites. I don't see that coming from a point of hypocrisy. If you don't understand what they said, please go and listen to it carefully and even put in your human reasoning to put one and two together to see what they really meant. In the church, as Pastor Paul Enenche said, 1 minute, let me try to see if my lights can come up more. Yes, guys, is it better? If it's not better, in Pastor Paul's message, he was trying to say that in the church of God, there are different types of seats, good seats and bad seats and mild seats. You will not know except you go down on field to begin to see, is this seat good? Is this one bad? Is this one in the middle? No, you will never know those things if you don't go down and look at the number in his church. How can that pastor, how can he alone go down to begin to look into every marriage? And people will say, no, he was supposed to look at Osinachi's marriage because Osinachi was very close to him. Yes, Osinachi was very close to him, but did you hear from his message what he said? That even though Osinachi was very close to him, Osinachi never made mention of anything. And many people have come up, gospel singers, though Edwards has come up, and people, these bloggers are coming now after Edwards, that Edwards had a personal, and Edward had had an intimate relationship with late Osinachi. Please, let's begin to fear God. Let's fear God with the kind of way we blog and the kind of things we put on our blog post. We cannot come here and be apportioning blames on the pastor, apportioning blames on the wife for a message. Do you just listen to one message and you make a conclusion? Do you listen to one message and you make your conclusion? He is just but one person. That he will not be able to go down to the church and begin to look house by house to see what is happening. Even if Osinachi was, may her soul rest in peace, even if she was very close to him, I can be close to you, but I don't tell you anything. Even when going to her dying bed, she could not say anything. Many ministers came and testified that in their presence, the husband got her beaten. And before they wanted to interrupt, she went down straight to her knees and was begging that, please, do not do anything to my husband. He's going to change. And please do not tell the pastor anything. I don't want the church to be looked upon as a type. So she is the core problem, not the church. She decided to try to solve this problem by her own and with her prayers. And she don't know, maybe just sitting and praying will not resolve this problem. Because if you're not in the shoe of victims or whatever, you will not know how to react. And sometimes maybe voodoo even was even involved in this thing. I would say voodoo was involved, because why would a man go to church? You are an elder in the church. Your children will run up to the pastor, to the resident pastor, to greet him. He lays hands on them, he prays on them, and immediately your children leave his presence. You call your children aside and you begin to ask them, what did he ask you? What did he say to you? That means he was not even free. He knew he was that kind of controlling man, that he controlled them even to that level that he was controlling them in church. Because he was scared of something. He did not want somebody to know about what was happening. Osinachi was married to this man for so many years, gave him 4 beautiful children, and those children were used against her. We are not supposed to be apportioning blames on her now and what, and we are not supposed to be apportioning blames even on the victims. I also talk about the victims. Many people go through violence, and when they come out, some people also say they are lying. So the thing is very complex in such a way that some victims come out and say, okay, I'm being violated, there's violence in my home, and only some of us that will listen to those stories will go back and say they are lying, or we will shame them in such a way that these days many people will go through violence and nobody will be coming out. Nobody will want to come out because they are scared of how the population will react. They are scared of what people will say. They are scared of the reaction. They are scared of being put on the limelight and being mocked. So maybe she did not even just want to come out to say, oh, I'm dying in my marriage, or because she was that one woman that when she climbed on the stage to get the microphone to minister to people, she made sure that she brought people to that place of worship. How will she now go and start changing her story? How will she start go and start saying that, oh, no matter how I sing and people are being blessed, no matter how I bless the life of people, no matter how I usher people into the presence of God with my administration, I am dying, oh, I am dying, oh. These same people that are saying that she should have spoken out, we will still be the same people pulling her down and saying that, oh, that cannot be true. How can a powerful minister of God like that, how can a powerful woman of God like that go through all these things? Maybe she's lying, or people would have said something. That is life. There are still some people that are going through a lot of violence now that they will not want to speak up because they consider their position, they consider how the reaction of the people, and some of them will not speak up. But we are advocating people to speak up. When Minister Osinachi picked up the microphone to minister, everybody was in tears. Even the hardest criminal was bound to even come to that place of saying that, Lord, I give my life to you. That was how her worship was. That was how her worship was. How would she have come out now to say, no, even though I come from a place of pain, I'm coming from my home, I've been beaten, my eye is black because I've been beaten black and blue. Don't you think that she would have thought that maybe if she came out like that, people would never have believed her? That is just the same situation that many people are going through. And what we should be thinking here is how to give these children some therapy, because as it seems from all the testimonies, from all the interviews I've had with the children have a mindset of what a woman is and how a woman is supposed to be treated. We should take the grace of God to bring the children back to their normal mind. They need serious therapy. That is what we are supposed to be thinking about. How to help the children, how to focus on the children, to give them some therapy, how to do this and that, not apportioning blames, not calling the Pastor Paul Enenche, he a hypocrite, or labeling him in blogs. He's preaching what he's not doing. He is the cause of the death because the wife went and wrote on, made a post that no matter what, we should not stand for divorce. Did the wife write on that post that even if there is violence, you should stay in that marriage? No. No. We have listened to the mother talk how she was never privileged to do an omugo. She was never privileged to even receive a call for him. We have listened to the sister said he will beat her and she will tell her and beg her not to tell anybody. You have listened to the children say he pushed her out of the car severally at night. He gave her many black eyes. He took the cars that people came and blessed her with. He held her from exposing her gifts. And he told her consistently every time he would maltreat her, kneel her down, slap her, tell her not to go to projects, and then she would still beg. Even when people stood up to beg, to react in that presence, she would still beg and say, please don't do anything to my husband. He would change. That was the level of love she had. If there was not a little voodoo inside, that was the level of love she had. Now, my dear people, why apportion blames on the pastor? Go and read those messages very, very well. Those messages were not meant to say we are advocating for divorce in a marriage. No. Those messages were to encourage the Christian woman. The Christian woman. Okay, guys, that is what I wanted to say this morning. 3 things. Do not apportion blames on the church. Because Pastor, Minister Osinachi, from every testimony, she never wanted her husband to be looked down on. She never wanted what she was going through to be exposed. Number 2, do not take pastor's messages and think maybe he's a hypocrite. He told her to stay in the marriage. There is no way written. If there is somewhere that is written, please bring it and post it in the comment section that please leave your marriage, or please do not leave your marriage even if your husband is beating you. As he said, go and watch his latest updates. He said everything. And it's just true and just logical for us to know that in a bag of cocoyam, there must be spoiled ones. And if you don't go through the bag one by one, you will not remove those spoiled ones. And you don't expect the pastor to come to that his mega church, thousands of churches, begin to look into the lives of every Christian or every leader in the church. It will be an impossibility. They will come there to preach the word of God. We'll take what we want to take and we'll leave us. It lies down, it boils down to ourselves as individuals. As individuals. The brother has said it. He even changed his name. It is all over. He got married. The relationship became heated when he got married, and maybe the wife knew, or I don't understand if she even knew, and she was even struggling to still protect that. And next, the last most important points. We should always try to listen without judging. There are many victims out there. There are many victims out there who are holding very important roles in different churches, in different ministries, in different positions in the society. They are going through the same thing, but they don't want to come out and talk it out as it is because they are scared of the reaction of the people. They are scared of the blames. They are scared of not being heard. They are scared of the shame that it will come with. So by the time we keep on apportioning blames, those victims will stay hidden. We need to look for a different approach. Leave the church out of this. Leave Pastor Paul Enenche out of this and the wife. Read the messages as you're reading a message that you want to read and build yourself. You want to read and educate yourself. You want to read and pass it on to others. Don't read the message as if you're reading a message as if you have a problem with the church and you're coming to attack his ministry. Have a blessed day.